Resources Committee back to order here. Item number 6, approval of the July 5th, 2022 ERC minutes. What is the pleasure of the committee? Motion by Supervisor Drabeck, second by Supervisor Shafinsky. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Thank you. Moving on, 7, operational functions required by statute, ordinance, or resolution. A, public hearings, review possible actions and possible recommendations to the county board for its consideration, county zoning changes. We have 7A1, Patrick Schreiner, light industrial to neighborhood commercial, town of Wien, and 7A2, Doug and Julie Seehafer, light industrial to commercial, town of McMillan. Please, everybody, mute your electronic devices so that we can avoid interruptions. The Marathon County ERC is now meeting a public hearing on the location, plan, specifications, and purpose of the following projects: Patrick Schreiner, LI to NC, town of Wien, and Doug and Julie Seehafer, LI to C, town of McMillan. Members of the committee, myself, Jake Langenhan, the chair, Al Drabeck, our vice chair, Supervisor Seefeld, Supervisor Oberbag, Supervisor Ritter, Supervisor Vensky, Supervisor Shafinsky, Supervisor Unger, and Marilyn Bend, and Wisconsin Towns and Villages Association rep, and Rodney Roskoff. Supervisor Ritter, Supervisor Oberbach, Marilyn Bend, Supervisor Langenhan, Supervisor Drabeck, Supervisor Shafinsky, Rodney Roskoff, and Supervisor Vensky are the ones present for the record. And we also have our staff present as well. The establishment of the ERC is required by law for purposes of administration of county ordinances and land conservation programs. This committee must follow state laws and local ordinances as written. This committee cannot change or ignore any part of the ordinances or state laws, must apply the laws as written. The purpose of this committee is to hear and decide on proposed ordinances and ordinance revisions, rezoning petitions, and provide direction on land conservation planning programs. The ERC will give a full and fair hearing to any person applying for a rezone petition. A taped recording is being made of the meeting, which will assist with preparation of written hearing minutes. The committee is interested in hearing all pertinent comments and questions. Each hearing will be opened by reading the public notice and allowing staff to present a staff report, including evidence from any on-site inspection. The applicant and anyone wishing to testify will be sworn in and allowed to give testimony. Witnesses will be called in order of those first in favor, second opposed, and then third as interested may appear. The committee may ask questions of the zoning staff and applicant. It is necessary that we set a reasonable time limit on individual statements and on the overall length of the hearing. To promote orderly discussion, anyone wishing to present oral testimony or ask questions relating to the hearing should state your name and present your testimony or questions so it becomes part of the official record. We request you avoid repetition. Once the committee has all the necessary facts, the chairman will close the hearing, allowing no further testimony, and the committee will deliberate and decide in front of the public whether the applicant has met the standards in the ordinance. No additional testimony from the public is allowed during the deliberation. However, the committee may question staff for purposes of clarification. After a decision is made, the committee will proceed to the next hearing. Many of the recommendations made by the committee are a recommendation to the Marathon County Board of Supervisors, who will take up the matter at a future county board meeting. Please contact staff for more information regarding this county board process. This committee will now hear the application of 4A1, Patrick Schreiner on, sorry about that, well, on the agenda, it's listed 7A1. So, but 7A1, Patrick Schreiner, light industrial to neighborhood commercial, town of Wien, and we will begin with our staff report. So, Garrett, I think this is the first time you're doing one of these, right? Okay.
This is my first time.
Got it. So, this being a public hearing and all, I'm gonna, ask you to be sworn in, essentially. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, go ahead with your staff report. Thank you.
For those of you that don't know who I am, this is my first time presenting the rezone reports for the staff reports. I am the new land use specialist for Marathon County. So first we have the rezone staff report for Patrick Schreiner. Petition to rezone land staff report August 2nd, 2022 for the Environmental Resources Committee. Our petitioner is Patrick Schreiner. He resides at 245150 Druitt Creek Road in Athens, Wisconsin, 54411. The property owner is Patrick Schreiner, and he does reside at the above address. Location of rezone request: the area proposed to be rezoned is in the town of Wien, just west of the intersection of Hilldale Drive and State Highway 29. The petition of Patrick Schreiner to amend the Marathon County zoning ordinance to rezone lands from light industrial to neighborhood commercial, described as part of the Northeast Quarter, the Northeast Fractional Quarter, Section 3, Township 28 North, Range 4 East, Town of Wien. The areas proposed to be rezoned are parcel pin numbers 084 2804-031-0986 and 084-2804-031-0990. The Town of Wayne Town Board meeting was July 11, 2022, and we're meeting today, the Marathon County Environmental Resources Committee, August 2nd, 2022 at 3 p.m. A legal advertisement was published in the Wassa Daily Herald. Notice of the zoning change request was also sent by regular mail to adjacent property owners within 300 feet of the subject property. The existing zoning district is light industrial. The purpose of the light industrial district are to provide environment exclusively for and conducive to the development and protection of modern administrative facilities and research institutions that are office-like in physical appearance and service requirements, as well as to provide for and accommodate industrial uses in the fields of repair, storage, manufacturing, processing, wholesaling, distribution, free from the encroachment of residential, retail, and institutional uses unless otherwise specified in this ordinance. The uses allowed for those which, because of their normally unobjectionable characteristics, can be in relatively close proximity to residential and commercial districts. This is the existing land use map from the town of Wayne from their comprehensive plan adopted in 2005. The area proposed to be rezoned is shown as other agriculture in the town's comprehensive plan, existing land use map from 2005. Adjacent land uses are comprised of commercial, croplands, woodlands, and other agricultural uses. The arrow here signifies the two lots that are petitioned to be rezoned at this time. The proposed zoning district is neighborhood commercial. The purpose of the neighborhood commercial district is to accommodate the wide range of retail stores and personal service establishments which cater to frequent recurring needs. The Towns of Wayne's comprehensive future land use map from 2005. The area proposed to be rezoned is shown as other agriculture in the town's comprehensive future land use map. Adjacent land uses are comprised of commercial croplands, woodlands, and other agricultural uses. The town of Wayne does not participate in farmland preservation. The aerial photo shows outlined here in blue the area that is proposed to be rezoned from light industrial to neighborhood commercial. The town recommendation on July 11, 2022, the Town of Wayne Town Board recommended approval to Marathon County's Environmental Resources Committee. Staff comments regarding ERC conclusions of law. The rezoning is substantially consistent with the following plans, and note how the proposed relates to the future land use plan and the vision, goals, objectives, and policies of the plan, the Marathon County Comprehensive Plan, Town Comprehensive Plan, and the Marathon County Farmland Preservation Plan. The Marathon County Preservation Plan relies on the Town Comprehensive Plan regarding specific land uses and zoning districts for individual parcels. The area proposed to be rezoned is shown to be designated as commercial in the town's future land use map. CPZ staff rely on the towns to make these recommendations, given the town board members and residents know their town and the true purpose and intent of the plan. The town of Wayne does not participate in farmland preservation zoning. As indicated by the town's resolution/recommendation, it appears the rezone is consistent with the purpose and intent of the comprehensive plan. Number two, the location of the proposed development minimizes the amount of agricultural land converted and will not substantially impair or limit current or future agricultural uses, other protected farmland. No farmland will be consumed. Number three, the applicant has demonstrated that A, there is a need for the proposed development, B, adequate public facilities are present or will be provided. Note impacts on roads, water, sewage, drainage, schools, emergency services, etc. And C, providing public facilities will not be an unreasonable burden to the local government. Referring to A, the need is to update the zoning district to comply with the proposed use. B, all necessary public facilities are anticipated to be provided, if not already provided, given any proposed development would rely on private systems such as private well and sanitary system if applicable. C, no anticipated burden on local government. All applicable building, construction, and use standards will be applied during the zoning and building permit review process. The rezoning will not cause unreasonable air and water pollution, soil erosion, or adverse effects on rare or irreplaceable natural areas. All federal, state, and local permits and approvals are required for any applicable development on site. Additionally, the proposed rezone will likely not result in any unreasonable air and water pollution, As well, pertinent regulations apply and will need to be adhered to. Any disturbance greater than 1 acre would need a DNR stormwater management permit. Number 5, the town has approved the proposed rezone of the property. The Town of Wayne Town Board has recommended approval of this rezone petition. Number 6, all concerns from other agencies on the proposed rezone have been addressed, DNR, Highway, DOT. What are the concerns? The answer, the county has not been made aware of any concerns from other agencies. Our staff recommendation, the rezone meets all the zoning district standards as it relates to size, frontage, access, and dimension. The rezone also appears to be consistent with the purpose and intent of the town's comprehensive plan and as indicated by the town resolution. Based on the information provided above, findings of fact, conclusions of law, and the town's recommendation, it appears the rezone request meets all the rezone criteria and standards for rezoning. Therefore, CPZ staff recommend that the Environmental Resources Committee recommend approval to the Marathon County Board of Supervisors.
Okay, thank you, Garrett. Any questions for staff? Seeing and hearing none? Thank you. All right, moving on to public discussion. I would ask that anybody in favor of the proposed rezone, please come forward and identify yourself at this time. Either unmute yourself over WebEx or approach the mic in person here. I'm going to ask you to come up here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right. And I do have to ask, is it it's name and address for this though, isn't it? Yes. I thought so, yeah. Okay.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Pat
I'm going to
Schreiner.
hold you on for 1 second. You're
sorry.
not on the clock, so
Okay.
this is just a clarification thing. Lance, it's always been name and address when we've done it. The only difference is it was public comment before this is a public hearing, you know?
Yes.
Yes? Okay.
Yes, sorry. I was
Okay.
getting confused.
Sure, that's all right. Thank you for your patience. Name and address, please.
Patrick Schreiner with, live in Town of Eatbrock. 235150 Dravitt Creek Road in Athens, so.
Got it. Go ahead.
Yep. What I'm looking at, just changing the land use there. The property, as you've seen in the picture, it actually has 4 large billboards on it as we speak. It was owned by Heartland Properties. I purchased a property this spring and just looking to put a self-storage type system on it and use the land to me, it makes perfect sense. So that's all I wanted to relay. So thank you.
You know, and after you said that, just 1 second, a couple things. The committee might have questions for you, but the other thing is after that mix-up there, I didn't follow the rules I had here. Do you swear to tell the truth and the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
You betcha.
Okay, everything that you said was factual?
Correct.
Okay. Any questions for Patrick from the committee? All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, moving on. Anybody wishing to speak in favor of the proposed request? Please identify yourself at this time. Oh, boy.
Kelly King, 220, 540 County Road H, Edgar, Wisconsin, Town Supervisor for the town of Wayne.
Kelly, do you swear to
Yep,
tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
yes, I do.
All right, go ahead.
So this rezone came in front of us maybe 2 months ago. They came up with a mutual agreement, and Pat has the mutual agreement with us. I'd like to have that as between the 2 parties, submitted as evidence. So if there's a dispute ever, we have it as testimony. Is it okay, Jake? And we are in favor of it.
Thank you. Well, a couple of things. First of all, any questions for Kelly? Okay, seeing and hearing none. I think that can be entered into the record, but I don't know if it would have any weight on the decision
It's not the
itself.
way, it's just,
Yeah.
because if there's issues between the two people, okay, then we got it resolved, because it'll be a document.
Did it get added to the comments that the town submitted, or?
No, it did not. They just came up with it 10 days ago or something like that.
I mean, I think we can add it to the record for sure, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have any.
Yeah, okay. All right, no questions for Kelly. Kelly, thank you. All right. Anybody else wishing to speak in favor of the proposed request, please identify yourself at this time. One more call after this. Anybody wishing to speak in favor of the proposed rezone for 7A1, Patrick Schreiner, please identify yourself at this time. Seeing and hearing none. Anybody wishing to speak against the proposed rezone, please identify yourself at this time. I'll call one more time after this. Anybody wishing to speak against the proposed rezone, 7A1, Patrick Schreiner, please identify yourself at this time. Hearing none. Anybody wishing to speak as interested in the proposed rezone, please identify yourself at this time. Last call. Anybody wishing to speak as interested? All right. Seeing and hearing that no one else wishes to testify, I am now declaring the public hearing on Patrick Schreiner, light industrial to neighborhood commercial, town of Wien, now closed. The committee will now enter, the committee will now deliberate on the application, apply the standards of the zoning ordinance. Fairly straightforward. Town was in favor of it. What was the pleasure of the committee? Supervisor Drabeck. Well, it's for the recording, so, yeah, go ahead, Supervisor Drabeck.
All right, thank you. I'd like to make a motion to approve the rezone for Patrick Schneider from light industrial to neighborhood commercial due to the staff reports, finding of fact, and conclusions of law.
Okay, motion has been made. Is there a second? Second by, I think Rodney had his hand up just a second quicker. All right. Motion has been made in second. Any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to 7A2, we have Doug and Julie Schaefer, light industrial to neighborhood commercial, town of McMillan, and we have Garrett for his staff report. And Garrett, you're still sworn in, so go right into it.
Douglas and Julie Seehafer. Turn my mic on. Douglas and Julie Seehafer, petition to rezone land, staff report, August 2nd, 2022, Environmental Resources Committee. The petitioner is Douglas and Julie Seehafer. They reside at 114750 Shower Creek Road in Marshfield, Wisconsin, 54449. The property owners are Douglas and Julie Seehafer, and they reside at the above address. Location of rezone request, the area proposed to be rezoned is in the town of McMillan on the corner of the intersection of Shower Creek Road and Galvin Avenue. Petition of Douglas and Julie Seehafer to amend the General Code of Ordinances for Marathon County, Chapter 17 zoning code to rezone lands from light industrial to commercial described as part of the northeast quarter of the northwest quarter of Section 34, Township 26 North, Range 3 East, Town of McMillan. The area proposed to be rezoned is as described as Lot 1 of Certified Survey Map number 18829, document number 1825697, pin as above. Public hearings and meetings. The Town of McMillan Town Board met on July 11, 2022. Marathon County Environmental Resources Committee is meeting today, August 2nd, 2022 at 3 p.m. A legal advertisement was published in the Wausau Daily Herald. Notice of the zoning change request was also sent by regular mail to adjacent property owners within 300 feet of the subject property. The existing zoning district is light industrial. The existing land use map for the town of McMillan from their comprehensive plan of 2021. The area proposed to be rezoned as shown as commercial in the town's comprehensive plan, existing land use map in 2021. Adjacent land uses are comprised of commercial, industrial, and residential uses. The area indicates the parcel to be proposed rezone. The proposed zoning district to be rezoned is commercial. The purpose of the commercial district is to provide or promote uses principally to accommodate the sale of retail goods, personal services, and administrative establishments thereby encouraging local or regional shopping areas. It is intended that the design of this district will encourage grouping of business establishments located on a unified site, providing adequate off-street parking facilities, as well as an efficient and safe method for handling vehicular and pedestrian traffic. The town comprehensive future land use map from the 2021 plan for the town of McMillan is shown as heavy industrial in the town's future land use map from 2021. Adjacent land uses are comprised of light industrial and rural residential uses. The area in question was designated as a non-farmland preservation area in the Farmland Preservation Plan. The town of McMillan participates in farmland preservation. However, no farmland preservation parcels will be affected. Parcel is outlined in blue. On July 11, 2022, the town of McMillan Town Board recommended approval to Marathon County's Environmental Resources Committee. Staff comments regarding the ERC conclusions of law. Number one, the rezoning is substantially consistent with the following plans. Note how the proposed relates to the future land use plan and the vision, goals, objectives, and policies of the plan. Marathon County Comprehensive Plan, Town Comprehensive Plan, and Marathon County Farmland Preservation Plan. The Marathon County Comprehensive Plan relies on the town's comprehensive plan regarding specific land uses and zoning districts for individual parcels. The area proposed to be rezoned is shown to be designated as commercial in the town's future land use map. CPZ staff rely on the towns to make these recommendations, given the town board members and the residents know their town and the true purpose and intent of the plan. The area in question was not designated as farmland preservation area. The town of McMillan does participate in farmland preservation zoning. As indicated by the town's future land use map and resolution recommendation, it appears the rezone is consistent with the purpose and intent of the comprehensive plan. The location of the proposed development minimizes the amount of agricultural land converted and will not substantially impair or limit current or future agricultural use of other protected farmland. No farmland will be consumed. The applicant has demonstrated that A, there is a need for the proposed development, B, adequate public facilities are present or will be provided, note impacts on roads, water, sewage, drainage, schools, emergency services, etc. And C, providing public facilities will not be an unreasonable burden to the local government. A, the need is to update zoning district to comply with the current use. B, all necessary public facilities are anticipated to be provided, if not already provided, given any proposed development would rely on private systems such as a private well and sanitary system if applicable. C, no anticipated burden on local government. All applicable building, construction, and use standards will be applied during the zoning and building permit review process. Number 4, the rezoning will not cause unreasonable air and water pollution, soil erosion, or adverse effects on rare or irreplaceable natural areas. All federal, state, and local permits and approvals are required for any applicable development site. Additionally, the proposed rezone will likely not result in any unreasonable air and water pollution, as all pertinent regulations apply and will need to be adhered to. Any disturbance greater than 1 acre would need a DNR stormwater management permit. Number 5, the town has approved the proposed rezone of the property. The town of McMillan Town Board has recommended approval of this rezone petition. Number 6, all concerns from other agencies on the proposed rezone have been addressed, DNR, Highway, DOT. What are the concerns? The county has not been made aware of any concerns from other agencies. The rezone meets all the zoning district standards as it relates to size, frontage, access, and dimension. The rezone also appears to be consistent with the purpose and intent of the town's comprehensive plan and as indicated by the town's resolution. Based on the information provided above, findings of fact, conclusions of law, and the town's recommendation, it appears the rezone request meets all the rezone criteria and standards for rezoning. Therefore, CPZ staff recommend that the Environmental Resources Committee recommend approval to the Marathon County Board of Supervisors.
Thank you, Garrett. Any questions for staff from the committee? Supervisor Overbeck.
On the Town Comprehensive Plan Future Land Use Map, I believe that's shown incorrectly there, and it states about a heavy industrial, and also shows a different parcel as outlined.
You're speaking to this portion right here where the arrow is
It's
pointing, correct?
it's on the page that lists out the proposed zoning district, but it states the town comprehensive plan future land use map, and then it states that the area proposed to be rezoned is shown as heavy industrial in the town's comprehensive plan future land use map. I believe that's incorrect.
Yes, it would be, it is incorrect. It would be light industrial as shown on the map here.
So was that just I mean, it says LI to commercial. Is it mentioned as heavy industrial somewhere in the staff report, Supervisor Overbeck, or is it just a?
Yes, it states in the future land use map for the town's comprehensive plan,
Yeah, you're on page 39,
38.
38. So that one right there, right?
No,
No? Next one?
which one is it? Next one.
Okay.
And if you look at the box where it's showing that the parcel is, it's also shown incorrect.
That's just a typo on my part. It should say that it was light industrial.
Right.
Oh, town comprehensive plan, the area proposed to be rezoned is showing as heavy, sure, yeah, okay. Yeah, it's a typo, yeah, okay. And we can fix that in between the time it goes to county, now in the county board anyway, so thank you Supervisor Overbeck. Anything else for staff, questions? Seeing and hearing none, thank you, Garrett. Okay, Amy wishing to speak in favor of the proposed rezone request. We are on item 7A2, Doug and Julie Seehafer, light industrial to commercial, town of McMillan. Please identify yourself at this time. You can either mute yourself over WebEx or come forward and speak into the microphone at this time. Okay, name and address, please.
Doug Seehafer, 114750 Shire Creek Road.
All right, Doug, do you sort of tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Go ahead.
Okay, we'd like it rezoned so that we can continue to grow. I started a business about 35 years ago with one person. Now we have about 35. And this change would allow us to put up another building, and we will continue to grow. Our biggest sale now is robotic milking, and we sell, service, install those robotic milkers, and it's really a tremendously growing business for us. Thank you.
Okay, any questions for Doug? Seeing, hearing none, thank you. All right. Anybody else wishing to speak in favor of the proposed rezone requests? Item 782, Doug and Julie Seehafer, please identify yourself at this time. Last call, anybody wishing to speak in favor of the proposed requests? Seeing and hearing none, moving on. Anybody wishing to speak against the proposed request? Please identify yourself this time. Again, we're on item 782. Last call. Anybody wishing to speak against the proposed rezone request? Seeing and hearing none. Anybody wishing to speak as interested, please identify yourself at this time. Last call. Anybody wishing to speak as interested? Seeing and hearing none. No one else wishes to testify. I am now declaring the public hearing on item 782, Doug and Julie Seehafer, light industrial to commercial, town of McMillan, now closed. The committee will now deliberate on the application, apply the standards of the zoning ordinance. What is the pleasure of the committee? Supervisor Overbeck.
I'll make a motion that we recommend approval to the county board for the rezoning from light industrial to commercial for, I lost it. For 114750 Shire Creek Road, Marshfield, Wisconsin. Based upon the conclusions, laws, and finding of facts.
Sure, recommending approval of the case that was in front of us. Sure, yep. Motion is made. Is there a second? Second by Supervisor Draybeck. Any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. All right, we are done with the rezones. Now we move on to 7B, review and possible recommendations to the county board for its consideration. Town zoning changes pursuant to Wisconsin statute 60.62 sub 3. 7B1, Town of Wausau, 236708 Jim Moore Creek Road, PIN number 080-290-8-08-1-0977-A1/80 Agricultural District to CM Commercial Light Manufacturing District. What do we got for this one?
We do have a representative from the town of Wausau for any questions. They just are putting it through as required by state statute.
Sounds good. And this doesn't require a public hearing, so you don't have to come up here and get in front of the scary microphone. All right. Any questions for the, what is your name, sir?
Steve Bunton, I'm a town supervisor.
You want to grab a mic, Steve, just in case there are questions? Yeah, sounds good.
My address?
No, that's not needed. Like, this doesn't require a public hearing, so.
Okay, Steve
yeah.
Bunton, I'm a town board supervisor for Town of Wausau.
Gotcha.
So if you have any questions on the rezone, I'm here to answer them for you.
Okay, any questions from the committee? In the past, when these have come up, just recommend, approval to the county board. It's pretty straightforward. So, no questions for Steve. Pleasure of the committee. Don't leave me hanging here, guys. Supervisor Shafinsky.
I would move that we approve the petition for the rezone from the town of Wausau, 236708 Jim Moore Creek Road, PIN number 080-298-290-08-0977-A-1/80 from Agricultural District to Commercial Light Manufacturing District.
Okay. Motion has been made. Is there a second? Second by Supervisor Vensky. Any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Thank you for sitting through a lengthy meeting.
I'm on the next one too. so
You are?
I'll just
Yeah,
stand
there's
here.
two.
Oh, look at this. Oh, the ordinance change. Yes, okay.
I'm not
7B2. Oh, sure. Thank you, Kelly. All right, 7B2, Town of Wausau to amend the town zoning ordinance, chapter 17.
Yeah.
Okay, amending the ordinance. Yeah.
Yep, just cleaning up some language in it and stuff like
Okay.
that. And so, pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Committee? Any questions? Supervisor Drabeck?
I would just move to approve the ordinance change and with all the numbers, yeah.
Okay. Approving the town of the ordinance changes in front of us, correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay, thank you. Second? Second by Supervisor Vensky. Any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. All right, thank you again. All right, keep moving along here. 7C, review and possible recommendations to county board for its consideration. 7C1, Marathon Park Water Service Design, Parks.
Jamie Polly's here.
Oh, very good. Whatever mic works.
All right. Thank you, Environmental Resources Committee. I think this is the first time I've actually been in front of you all since we had the new board. So I'm Jamie Polly, Parks, Recreation, and Forestry Director for Wausau and Marathon County. Here today, I'm bringing this forward to as a recommendation from the Park Commission, who saw this item this afternoon at their Park Commission meeting. And I put in your packet, there was an agenda summary memo that kind of did an overview of what this is. So Marathon Park, as you all know, is very old. It's one of the first parks that the county has had since the early 1920s. And much of the infrastructure in it is as old as the park. Some of it has been replaced, some of it hasn't. For the last couple of years, we knew that we had to do some utility mapping in the park to know where all the utilities are, because as we are designing the West Side Master Plan, which really doesn't play a factor in this because the utilities are underground and it won't affect it, but as we're just looking at the park in general, we've had for the last 2 years in our small project fund, $8,000 to do utility mapping, so we at least know where all the water, sewer, electric services are throughout the park. It hasn't been a high priority item because we've had a lot of other things going on in the last couple of years. But it is something that's been on our radar. Now, this last year with the city having the PFAS issue of the water, and I heard all of the information earlier, I was online, but that really made the water department of the city very cognizant of what they can and can't improve and what they can and can't turn on. And we've known that we've had some items in the park where we need to address. Our water system right now is not a loop system, so it is a main that comes into Marathon Park, and then it has the feeders off of it that are dead-ended, and we do a winterization of each of those lines every year. So really everything from the Marathon Junction to the west is a dead-end line that we winterize. The lines are not deep enough, so they currently do not meet code. But in order to have a campground, we do have to follow state statute for the campground, which means we have to have the water tested every year and making sure we have clean water, and we have to have water available for campers. So we have been doing that over the years. That's always been something that the county has to do. Our water has been clean. It passes inspection. But this year, with the PFAS item coming about, the water department gave us notice that they will not turn our water on in the future if we don't bring our systems up to code. So not only Marathon Park, but if you notice, our kayak statue hasn't been turned on. Many of our drinking fountains in the city are not turned on at the moment because they all have the same issue where the bleeder valve where we have to winterize is not above ground, it's below ground, and it has like a seeping valve, and I know that's not technical, and I apologize for that. So we have a plumber hired to do the city stuff. Marathon Park is much more in-depth. It's a bigger system. And so what I'm bringing forward today, and I have had conversations with our finance director and our county administrator, is what we need to do is we need to hire a consultant to map all of our utilities, but also then to put a plan together of how we're going to bring it to code. This will fall in line with what our requirements are from the city water department as we move forward in getting this fixed. Our goal is that we can do this planning in 2022. And in the memo, I mentioned that we have identified $21,000 in our operating budget to put towards this, and then we're asking for $74,400 from the contingency fund, which is what the finance director said this would come from, in order to doing the planning of the system. We do that this year. Then I do have a CIP project submitted that the county board will review in our CIP process to actually do the work in 2023. And right now, what I'm asking for and what the Park Commission has recommended to you to hopefully recommend on to the Finance and Human Resources and Property Committee is to approve the funding of this $74,400 out of our contingency fund to be able to get this system planned and ready to construct. As we move forward through the CIP process, then we'll have the approval process of whether we actually do the work in 2023. But we do run the risk of not having our water turned on in the park in 2023 if we don't fix this, which means we would not allow camping in the park. We could not, our restrooms facilities would not be operational in the west of the park. And as we know, the fair started today. The fair would be very hindered by not having water throughout the park. So our goal, if this is approved and if our CIP project is approved through that process, is that we bid this construction out January, February of next year so that we have a contractor on ready to go as soon as ground thaws to get the work done with a deadline of completion of early July, giving us a few weeks leeway so that we definitely have water for the fair next year. We do currently have our campground blocked out so that people cannot reserve campsites for next year in the hopes that we can do this because they can register 365 days ahead, but we would open that campground as soon as we had the proper water. So in a nutshell, that's what we're here today is to ask for a recommendation to the Human Resources and Finance Committee to approve the contingency budget to get the system planned ready for bidding out early next year.
Okay, thank you, Jamie. Any questions for the director? As Director Polly highlighted, there are a lot of, not only members of the public that use the park facilities, but also community groups as well that use the facilities and depend on them. So I think it's worthwhile to set it on to CIP, and yeah, so what was the pleasure of committee? All right, motion made by Supervisor Drabeck to move it on. Is there a second? Second by Supervisor Roskopf. Any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on, we have 7D1, review and possible action, Royal View Preliminary County Plat, Town of River Mountain.
Hello, this is, I'm Dave Decker. I'm the Marathon County Surveyor, for those of you who don't know me. I do want to apologize in advance. The staff report that I did put in the packet, when I saved it in that folder, some of the changes that I made did not save into there. So I'm going to go through it here quickly for you. The plat was also, the preliminary plat was also in the packet, as you see in front of you there. Plat requirements, survey requirements, it complies with Chapter 236, 34, Chapter 87, and Chapter 18 of the Marathon County Code of Ordinances. The zoning, the plat is located in Rib Mountain, so Rib Mountain is town-zoned, and it is in a process of being rezoned to the correct zoning districts for that plat. Environmental conditions, the stormwater management plan, and the erosion control plan were included with the packet, with the submittal of the plat. And then there's one of those issues that says there's no wetland areas. There are wetland areas. They will not be affected adversely. Sanitary sewer will be provided by the Rib Mountain Sanitary District. All the proposed lots will have access to an improved private, or improved public road, which connects to Bittersweet Road. And the Marathon County Highway Department is also aware of the design and supports the design. In the notes, prior to this middle of Royal View First Edition preliminary plat for approval, a concept plat meeting was held on October 8th of last year to discuss the plat. Present at the meeting were representatives from Rib Mountain, REI Engineering. Josh Prentice is also here from REI Engineering. Marathon County, and Pt.2 Development LLC. Design concepts and plans were discussed and agreed upon by all parties involved, and then the rest of that should be struck. Recommendation, based on the information provided, CPZ staff recommend that the Environmental Resources Committee approve the proposed preliminary plat of Royal View First Edition. And again, I apologize for the confusion.
Thank you for the explanation. Any questions for Dave or representative from REI? Any questions? Dave, what are the next steps with the plat? I always forget this.
Sure. So preliminary plats only require approval by ERC, as well as final plats as well. So this is the preliminary plat stage. It gets approved, if it gets approved by the ERC right now, then the next submittal will be the final plat, which is also approved by ERC. And once the approval is final, then it can be recorded. So it's just ERC approval for the preliminary and the final plat.
Gotcha. Thank you. All right. Seeing and hearing no questions, was the pleasure of the committee. Supervisor Drabeck?
Yes, sir, thank you. I'd make a motion that we would pass this, I guess.
Approve.
Approve, yeah, whatever. I'm just wondering what else we need on this, on the motion here. Is there anything else
Motion
that
to
we need
approve,
on
it
this?
stays
Just a
here.
motion to approve?
Yeah.
Motion to approve the preliminary plat of Royal View First Edition.
Yeah.
Okay, what you said. Thank you.
Got it. Is there a second? Supervisor Shavinsky with the second. Any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Thank you. Moving on, A, policy issues discussion, committee determination of the county board for its consideration. We have none. 9, next meeting, August 30th, 2022, 3 p.m., assembly room and future agenda items. You may have noticed on this particular agenda, we did not have the strategic plan discussion that we were originally planning on having. We'll be doing that at the August 30th meeting, primarily because of the length of this meeting today and the joint meeting to start the meeting. Committee members are asked to bring ideas for future discussion, announcements, requests, correspondence. Just want to thank all the members of the committee for their participation today. with the joint meeting, and would like to thank staff as well for helping prepare that joint meeting. And members of the public and staff who stuck around for this entire time too. So thank you. All right. With nothing else, item number 10 would be in order. Motion by Supervisor Vensky. Second by Supervisor Drabeck. Any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Thank you, everyone.